on an overcast but pleasant day here in Houston. It's one of those days where the roof at Reliance Stadium is open. And that's Gary Kubiak, and is it good to see him back on the sideline after his medical issues of the last few weeks?
Yeah, the last couple of weeks, the doctors would only allow him to coach from the press box, and that's where he was. And Gary, very excited to be back on the sidelines after that scare. Had a TIA, which is, for lack of a better term, a mini stroke. He's not back to his normal workload in terms of the number of hours that he's able to put in, but it's got to be a real shot in the arm for his team to have him back on the sideline.
Houston won the toss, and they will receive, and here we go. Keyshawn Martin out of the end zone. Running room on the right side. Breaking free across the 35, across the 40-yard line, and down close to the 45. Terrific return. Get the Texans started. The tackle made by Nate Ebner.
Well, again, about 7 yards deep in the end zone. And in today's NFL, I would return the ball all the time because it's just the percentages are on your side. And what a wonderful start for the Texans and their young quarterback to get this kind of field position.
There's Case Keenum. They've gone from Matt Schaub to TJ Yates to Keenum. First year QB, 8 touchdown passes and 2 picks thus far this season. They will start with Ben Tate trying the left side and out to midfield. A pickup about 6 on the play. The Houston offense, center Chris Myers playing in his 134th straight game. That's the most of any active lineman. The 6-time Pro Bowler Andre Johnson, the Texans' leading receiver, with 74 catches, 1,000 yards, and 5 touchdowns.
No secret involved in the Texans' game plan. It's going to be to run the football over and over against the New England defense that they think they can push around.
On 2nd and 4, this is Tate. And Tate pushing his way to a first down close to the New England 45. The Patriots 4-3 defense. Second-year defensive end Chandler Jones, terrific with 10.5 sacks. The rookie from Southern Miss, Jamie Collins, is an outside linebacker. And in the secondary, Alfonso Dennard is out. And the rookie Logan Ryan starts for him at corner. And another rookie, Deron Harmon, starting at safety.
If you were doing the math, you were right. 5 rookies starting on defense for the New England Patriots.
A rookie running back is in the game now for Houston, and tripping on his way to the line of scrimmage is Dennis Johnson.
Well, Dennis Johnson provided the running game a spark last week, and I think it didn't look like he tripped over Keenum. I think he just caught a little piece of turf and stumbled, and there's the man, Arian Foster, who's on injured reserve after back surgery on November the 12th. And Tate, keep in mind, has 4 cracked ribs, so Johnson's going to have to get some work today and some quality work.
Loss of 1, 2nd and 11. On the play fake, Keenum throwing, and that is complete on the outside to the tight end, Garrett Graham. And Graham outside, just inside the New England 40-yard line.
And you can't run Gary Kubiak's offense if you can't execute this play. A bootleg one way or the other and throw on the run. And Keenum does it very well. He's not a very big guy, generously listed at 6'1", 208 pounds. He's really about a 6-footer. But he can run, he can move, and he's gotten a lot of help from that guy, Matt Schaub, his predecessor.
3rd and 3. Keenum throwing and incomplete, intended for Dennis Johnson out of the backfield. That would have been a first down, the ball overthrown.
Now granted, Dennis Johnson isn't very tall at 5'7", but I think maybe this is a case where Keenum just get a little excited. The ball floats on him because that is an easy conversion. Johnson was disregarded by the New England defense. That was an easy movement of the chains with a better throw.
Julian Edelman going to make the fair catch at his own 6-yard line. So Tom Brady will be on the field, and he'll have to deal with number 99, J.J. Watt. We take a break. Want to hear a great number on Tom Brady? 144 wins in 186 career starts. That's a winning percentage of 77.4. That's not bad. Shane Vereen in the backfield. Brady going to throw outside, and Edelman with the dive just short of the 10-yard line. Brady's offensive line missing right tackle Marcus Cannon today with a bad ankle. Will Svitek starting for him. And New England getting great production out of number 11, who had 2 TD catches in the overtime win over Denver.
Keep in mind that Svitek is actually their 3rd right tackle, because normally that would be Sebastian Vollmer, but he on IR with a leg injury, so they're down to right tackle number 3.
On 2nd and 7, this is Brandon Bolden, and Bolden just barely across the 10 out to the 11-yard line. Despite that 2-9 record, the Texans own the number 1 defense in the NFL. J.J. Watt showing the way, 9.5 sacks. The linebackers, Whitney Merciless playing well, joined by Mays, Sharpton, and Brooks Reed. And in the secondary, Houston gets cornerback Kareem Jackson back. He's missed the last 2 games with a rib injury. 3rd and 5. Brady going to go deep down the near sideline and overthrows everybody, incomplete. Kenbrell Tompkins, the intended receiver, well covered.
And a lot of pressure inside. Tom Brady doesn't end up on the ground, but everybody is around him. You think that Tom Brady is going to come out of this flat on his back, and somehow he's just about the only guy left standing.
Will Svitek with a nice tackle on J.J. Watt. Keyshawn Martin, who had the terrific kickoff return to start things off today, is back for the punt. Looks returnable from his own 42. And spun down at about the 48-yard line. 10:48 to play in the first. Pretty good field position for Case Keenum and the Houston Texans. Welcome back to Houston. Little Houston Texans royalty on the sideline, Dan.
Yeah, there's Bob McNair in the middle, his son Cal on the right, general manager Rick Smith on the left.
Tough times this season. This is Ben Tate. And Tate maybe 2 yards on the play.
Well, I got news for the Houston Texans. You don't get field position like you've had now for these 2 drives very often, and you better do something with it. The first time they got great field position because of a good opening kickoff return, and now they get it again after holding the Patriots to a 3-and-out, and you've got to capitalize when you get this type of field position. You cannot squander.
They started from the 44 on their first drive. This one started from the 48. Keenum with time, wide open. He's got his man inside the 30 and out of bounds. Close to the 20 is Andre Johnson. The Patriots left number 80 wide open coming across the field.
And again on the crossing pattern underneath against this New England zone, there was a huge cavity between the linebackers and the secondary, and Andre Johnson settles right into it. It's such a staple of the Texans passing game. It certainly couldn't have taken the Patriots by surprise.
29-yard pickup to the New England 21. Keenum, good protection, wide open on the near side to Andre Johnson. And he is out of bounds inside the 10-yard line.
What an effort by Andre Johnson. First of all, he had to fight his momentum. Again on another crossing pattern underneath against the New England zone. And look at him fight to stay in bounds. And you've got a good look right there of his left foot kicking the out-of-bounds white stripe right. Whoa, for a minute I thought he touched it. I'm not sure he did. But the question was he down by contact? And that's the ruling. What an effort, though, by Andre Johnson.
First and goal. Keenum throwing. Incomplete. Off the hand of his tight end, Garrett Graham. It'll be second and goal.
Again, there's Andre Johnson. So, yes, the contact there is what put him on the ground. Yeah, there's no doubt about that Harmon was right there. That contact, even though he stayed up for a little while, resulted and Andre Johnson hitting the ground. So that was well officiated.
You know, those holes in that secondary, keep in mind, the Patriots starting 2 rookies in the secondary today. 2nd and goal. Tate, right side, inside the 5, touchdown! Terrific blocking on the right side of that Houston line.
Well, they went to a 2 tight end look over there with Graham and Griffin, and they stretched Ninkovich out. And what happens is the rookie tackle, Joe Villano, isn't able to flow all the way over there. And there ends up being a pretty good crease between Villano and Ninkovich. And that is the classic Houston Texans stretch play. You know, New England worked on it all week long, but they couldn't do anything about it.
Only the 3rd rushing touchdown this season for the Houston Texans. 7-0. Well, this time, the Texans take advantage of that terrific field position. 52-yard drive. See, red zone hasn't been kind to them lately.
And that's the difference, Greg, between winning and losing those close games that the Texans have been involved in.
This ball will bounce and be fielded by Josh Boyce, and Boyce to the 20 and out to the 24-yard line. Let's go back to that touchdown.
Well, it starts with a double team on Rob. Here's the 2 tight ends, but watch Joe Villano right here. He has got to flow into that gap. He has got to fill that void, and a good block by Derek Newton doesn't allow him to get there. That provides that lane for Ben Tate.
You know, Dan, last night, Rob Ninkovich told us it's his job to set the edge out there, and he did just that.
He did just that, but you've got to seal the gaps from the backside, and the Patriots didn't do it.
First down now for Brady from the 24. This time, throwing sideline incomplete off the hand of Edelman. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Well, Julian Edelman has become Tom Brady's target, his go-to guy. Almost twice as many receptions as anybody else on the team. Although Rob Gronkowski, since he's come back, has really...
He's playing catch-up, isn't he?
He's trying to play catch-up. And that's what Bill Belichick loves to do. Loves to work with the front 7 of his defense. And let me tell you, they're talking stretch play right now.
This is Bolden, nowhere to go on the left side. J.J. Watt stuffing that one at the line of scrimmage.
I think we know that there is a lot of football to be played, but I think it's pretty apparent that the Houston Texans are trying to serve up their A game on this Thanksgiving weekend for the New England Patriots.
Here's Stephen Ridley, who is inactive for this game.
If I could draw a picture of a doghouse, I would put it right around Stephen Ridley, because that's where he's living right now.
3rd and 10. Brady over the middle, and a diving catch across the 40-yard line made by Edelman for the first down.
Boy, that is pretty darn good coverage right there by Pleasant, but an absolutely beautiful throw by Tom Brady and a superior effort to go out and grab it by Julian Edelman. And that's a good look at why Edelman is the Patriots' leading receiver.
Who set it down? This is LeGarrette Blount. And Blount still on his feet. And didn't quite make it to midfield. He'll be marked down at the 49-yard line.
Well, LeGarrette Blount didn't get a chance to play last week after he fumbled. And he's taken a page out of the old Woody Hayes playbook. Watch him keep 2 hands on that football. Look at LeGarrette Blount protect that football, because he knows one more fumble and he's in street clothes standing next to Stephen Ridley.
Right alongside Stephen Ridley. 2nd and 3. Bolden. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage. Whitney Merciless, one of the great names in football.
Especially for a linebacker. That's right up there with guys like Steve Stonebreaker.
That doesn't work if you're a long snapper, does it?
No, well, it's wasted. It's wasted. There's Wade Phillips. His third year now running this Texans defense, and he is one of the great defensive minds the NFL has seen these last 3 or 4 decades.
3rd and 3.
And a winning head coach, too. 3 different places.
Green in the backfield. Brady throwing. Intercepted. Picked off by Jonathan Joseph. Joseph to the 45. The 40. Diving to the 30-yard line, and more terrific field position for the Houston Texans.
Well, Tom was trying to go downfield to Rob Gronkowski, and Joseph just undercuts the route. There's Gronk. He started on the left, and he's just running a post pattern, and you can see he was beyond Jonathan Joseph. Joseph a good 3 yards underneath it, and the throw from Tom comes right to Joseph. I have to assume that Tom Brady was trying to arc that over the top of Jonathan Joseph, and it didn't get there.
So now Case Keenum and the Texans offense from the New England 31. Keenum throwing over the middle, and that is almost intercepted, and we have a flag down. Flag is down at about the 10-yard line. Our referee today is Pete Morelli. And this is going to go against Houston.
Number 88, offensive pass interference. 10-yard penalty remains, first down.
That's the tight end, Garrett Graham.
Well, Garrett Graham is running a deeper pattern. Well, and that, yes, you cannot run it. The defender has the right to his space. That was Steve Gregory, the safety. And as a receiver, you cannot run into him and then shove him off like that. That's a good call by the officiating.
1st and 20. This is Tate. Squeezing through a small hole to the 36.
You know, when I go back to that first down play, Greg, that's pretty impressive that Gary Kubiak treats Case Keenum like he would any other quarterback. There's no protecting your young quarterback. When on first down like that, you let him go to the air and throw the football. There's a lot to like about young Mr. Keenum, and I think Gary Kubiak is letting him stretch his wings a little bit.
Dennis Johnson replaces Tate in the backfield on 2nd and 15.
And Tate's limping as he's making his way over to the bench.
Keenum, quick pass off the hands of Graham.
Case Keenum, you can see he identified his target and threw into a very, very tight window. Brandon Spikes underneath had really good coverage. Remember, Tate's got bad ribs, but this is something to do with the leg. He's got a noticeable limp. And if he, for some reason, can't go, the Texans are short on running back. Deji Kareem is their other RB.
On 3rd and 15. Keenum throwing. That is complete to Graham. And Graham inside the 25 to the 24. That'll leave him about 3 to 4 yards short of a first down. And here comes the field goal unit.
And this hasn't necessarily been a strength of the Texans, as they have been somewhat erratic. Bullock has on his field goal attempts.
19 out of 28 on the season.
That's in the modern NFL. That is a lot of misses.
This one from 43 yards out. And on its way and straight enough for 3. 4 minutes, 10 seconds remaining to be played in the first quarter. And it's a 10-0 Houston lead. We were talking during the break about the New England Patriots and this nasty little habit they've developed of falling behind in the first half. Over the last 3 games, including this one, they've been outscored in the first half by their opponents 44-3.
If you're in New England, you're thinking this is Groundhog Day.
This is Boyce from inside the 45-yard line with running room to the outside. 30, 35, breaks back across the 40 and down at the 45, and that's a terrific return by Josh Boyce, the rookie out of TCU. Just under 4 minutes to play here in the first quarter. And Tom Brady back to work at his own 45-yard line. From the shotgun, quick pass to the outside. And that is Rob Gronkowski with a pickup of about 6 yards. And it'll be 2nd and 4.
A pass like that to Gronk is just, we've seen it already, to Edelman, and it's just such a staple of the Patriots offense. Tom Brady throws that quick out. It's really a long handoff. It's nothing more than part of their running game, really.
2nd and 4. This is Vereen, and Vereen has a first down inside the 45 to about the 41 or 42-yard line of Houston.
Well, the return of Shane Vereen has really sparked New England. This is his 3rd game back. He broke his wrist in their opening game against Buffalo. And Rob Gronkowski, we hear an awful lot about his pass receiving skills. Does a pretty good job of getting in there and pushing the pile to the inside, trying to find somebody else.
First down, New England at the 41. Play fake, throwing, and that is complete inside the 30 to Kenbrell Tompkins, the rookie from Cincinnati.
And he landed awkwardly. And not sure that Tompkins isn't a little worse for wear after coming down. Yeah, he didn't get a chance to break his fall at all and lands right on his left hip.
So the Patriots on the march now at the Houston 25. Brady, a little pump fake to the left, throws to the right, and that's incomplete. Thrown at the feet of Tompkins, and it'll be 2nd and 10.
I think Tompkins is heading over to the New England sideline.
There is Robert Kraft, head man of the New England Patriots.
His son Jonathan sitting to his left, our right. And again, Tompkins, he tried to go that last play, and you saw it was an incomplete pass, and I suspect that he was nowhere near where Tom Brady thought he was going to be, and he wisely took himself out of the game.
Josh Boyce replaces him at wide receiver, 2nd and 10. Vereen inside the 25 to about the 23-yard line. Go back to that play for Tompkins.
Well, he does a good job of elevating for the ball, and then but when he comes down, he wasn't able to get his foot down and absorb any of the shock of hitting the ground. This is a natural grass field, and he hit it hard, and he's hurting.
Here's a big 3rd and 8 for the Houston defense. Brady with all kinds of time, throwing, and that is inside the 5-yard line, rolling into the end zone. Gronkowski for the touchdown. What a grab that was by Gronkowski.
Well, it started by the offensive line. It was a 4-man rush, and they just snuff it out. There is nobody anywhere near Tom Brady, and that throw was low, and the Gronk has to go down and get it. See, there he makes an adjustment, and he just picks that thing up about a foot off the turf.
Great hand.
And that goes down as one of Rob Gronkowski's better receptions. That
4th straight game, Gronkowski has registered a touchdown catch.
That was a superlative piece of work by Rob Gronkowski.
Steven Gostkowski is good with the extra point. We have 1:25 to play, and the Patriots are on the board in a big way. Brady to Gronkowski for the touchdown. It's Houston by 3 at 10-7. Tom Brady on the sideline, 6 plays, 55 yards in under 3 minutes to get the Patriots on the board, and there's Rob Gronkowski, who displayed an awesome pair of hands on the catch.
And Tom Brady gave the offensive line an attaboy when he came off, because What a job of pass protection. I can't even say they formed a pocket. They just made the Houston D-line disappear.
It wasn't a pocket, it was a whole pair of pants.
It was a deserted island.
Let's see if this trend for terrific returns continues. Keyshawn Martin will not return this one out of the end zone. The touchdown. And let's go back. The performance of that offensive line.
Well, Wade Phillips isn't a big blitz guy. He normally gets a rush with his 4 guy. But take a look at it. Tom only threw this because he was bored. He found Gronkowski coming open. And, that ball was a little lower than Tom would have liked it. But Tom Brady wasn't anywhere close to having to throw that ball. The man is a competitor.
First down now from the 20-yard line. Keenum gives to Tate. And Tate gets a couple. Everybody sees Tom Brady as this guy who sometimes isn't very emotional. That's not an accurate picture of him, is it?
Well, this year he's had to lead. He's had to coach. He's had to teach. And he has, sometimes the frustration has boiled over. That was, of course, going after the Reds of Carolina. I can only tell you, as a player, you feed off of that. You feed off your quarterback being that emotional and that into it.
On 2nd and 7, Keenum throwing into a crowd, and the catch is made by Andre Johnson for the first down. He had 3 defenders right around him, and Keenum was right on mark.
Well, nobody has to tell Andre Johnson where the sticks are. He's going to break off his route, come back to the football, and even giving a little ground, he knows he's got the first down pickup. And Keenum was able to step into that throw, and you can see he's got a pretty live arm.
Andre now 3 catches for 50 yards. Back to the ground game with Tate, and Tate straight ahead, and now just across the 35-yard line.
And you can see that Ben Tate, fortunately for the Texans, is back in there. He had to have his ankle re-wrapped. He looks okay.
We come to the end of the first. It is 10-7 Texans. Back to Houston after this. We welcome you back to Houston for the start of the second quarter, and maybe not, but maybe we'll be the last to wish you a happy Thanksgiving. 2nd and 6 for the Houston Texans at their own 35-yard line. The word from the New England Patriots sideline is Kenbrell Tompkins with a hip injury is questionable to return. Keenum right over the middle. It was tipped. Had a man open, but it was tipped on the way.
I think Spike's got a hand on that. And there goes Tompkins heading into the Patriots locker room. I think Brandon Spikes, who's been playing really some awfully good football in the middle for the New England Patriots, was able to alter that throw. And, a lot of times when a ball gets tipped up like that, it ends up getting intercepted.
Man.
So Tate, who had an ankle retaped on the sideline, now up to the top of your screen on 3rd and 6. Keenum being chased, throwing over the middle. That's complete. 45-yard line to the 46 is DeAndre Hopkins, the rookie out of Clemson, and a first down.
Well, the Patriots come with a blitz right up the A-gap. They come right, take a look, right, unblocked, right up through the center is Jamie Collins. And that forces Keenum to throw it falling backwards. He's not able to step into it. He almost just has to risk that throw and gets enough on it for the completion. That was, you can see what Kubiak likes about young Case Keenum. That was good stuff.
On first down, Tate again, left side, and spins down at about the 50-yard line. Remember, we were talking with Case Keenum about his ability to run, and he says he's focusing on trusting the offense first.
Well, he said, I've left the pocket too early on a number of occasions, and I need to trust the guys that are blocking for me. I need to trust the integrity of the pocket. And he goes, I've just got to do a better job of not running first, throwing second.
This is Tate again, and not much there, maybe a yard or 2 at the most. Hey, fantasy football fans, get a fresh start with Player Challenge, a 4-week game that now includes even bigger cash prizes. See rules and sign up at cbssports.com/challenge.
What a break for the Texans. Gary Kubiak is okay. I think everyone around the NFL was startled at the sight of him going down to one knee at halftime and not knowing exactly what was wrong, but great to see him back on the sideline.
Keenum, decent time, wide open! On the far side of the field is Keyshawn Martin, out of bounds. First down, Houston at about the 23-yard line.
Well, against what is normally a very disciplined New England defense, it's pretty rare to find a guy who is just completely and utterly abandoned by the defense. And you could see that Martin, that time, the two Patriot defenders jumped the short route, and Matt Patricia knows, wow, that's a mental error that we're lucky it didn't cost us a touchdown.
Well, you can understand it once, Dan, but that's the third time today already that a receiver's been left wide open in the Patriot secondary. Ninth play of this drive. Keenum with time. And now on the move and gets sacked back at the 30-yard line. Isaac Sopoaga, number 90, with his first sack of the year.
Well, Case Keenum had plenty of time in the pocket. It's not that this thing just fell apart on him in a hurry. Straight four-man rush. He's got all the time in the world. It's just that he waited too long. That time, he should have left the pocket a little earlier. He waited too long, and Sopoaga was able to run him down.
Nobody open downfield. Lost back now, 2nd and 18.
You gotta come. Come on down here. 80.
The give is to Tate. Tate looking for running room. Not much of it. Inside the 30 to about the 27-yard line. Keenum versus Brady today.
Well, you can see that Tom's got a touchdown, but he's got an interception to go with it. That interception gave the Texans 3 points. But Case Keenum, it's impressive for a young man who has very little playing experience in the NFL that he's only thrown 2 interceptions since he's had the opportunity to start. And that's, this is his 6th start. A lot of people following the Jets realize that's not the way it is everywhere.
On 3rd and 15, Keenum stepping up under pressure and let it go. Is intercepted. Picked off inside the 20-yard line.
And again, a young quarterback, the clock has got to go off in your head that somebody has got to be coming in that I can't see. And that's what happened to Case Keenum right there.
Just under 11 minutes here in the first half. Kenbrell Tompkins back on the field on offense for the New England Patriots. Brady, pass to the sideline. That's complete. Edelman out of bounds across the 25.
Well, Andre Carter's going to get the sack. He starts off over here, and he's blocked pretty effectively by Dwayne Brown. I mean, look at that pocket. And it's just a case where, for the second time on that series, Case Keenum held on to the football too long. You have got to realize this is the NFL. Pressure is coming whether you can see it in front of you or not. The first time he took a sack, that time it resulted in a turnover.
Brady working against the play clock here, down to 4. And this is Blunt, and Blunt with running room across the 30, out to the 34, maybe the 35-yard line for a first down.
Well, the Texans, they've got a lot of folks up on the line of scrimmage, but that doesn't keep this offensive line from carving out some yardage. And it started off with a pretty good block up front, and left tackle Nate Solder right there in the middle of your screen. He is having a really solid year for the Pack. Number 1 pick back at 11.
On first down, this is Blunt. And Blunt chewing up yardage out across the 43. Our first NFL Today update from New York, guys.
Shannon, this guy's like a superhero, Flash Gordon.
Yes, JB, the hottest receiver not named Calvin Johnson is Josh Gordon. Touchdown, 5 catches, $111 and a tub. Browns on top, 14-7.
back to Greg Gumbel and Dan Deerdorf.
All right, guys, thank you. 2nd and 2 as you look at the numbers in the AFC North.
51! Alert! Alert! Alert!
Brady running out of time, gets the snap away, gives to Blunt, and Blunt wrapped up just short of the first down. He needed the 45-yard line. J.J. Watt making the tackle. Boy, if there has been a guy who through thick and thin, it's been mostly thin this season, who has been carrying the banner for these Houston Texans, it's been number 99.
Well, I don't think he knows any other way. J.J. Watt has one speed, and that is relentless. He's a workout warrior. He's always in the weight room. They've got to ask him to leave the building. Don't burn yourself out.
This is Devlin, and Devlin has the first down across midfield.
Hey, these New England running backs have gotten the hint from Bill Belichick about protecting the football. Again, Devlin that time with both hands on the football, securing it firmly into his midsection. Bill, it's been a while since I've seen Bill the way he was yesterday, Greg, when we visited him. His intolerance has reached the boiling point when it comes to turnovers.
Brady with time, gonna go deep down the middle of the field. It is incomplete at the 5-yard line, intended for Julian Edelman.
Wade Phillips was out on the field screaming for a holding call. You can see Jonathan Joseph, and the one mistake was by Shiloh Keogh, the safety, who let Edelman get behind him. And that was oh so close to being a big play for New England. Wade, yeah, he was smoking.
Once again, Brady up against the clock. Marine in the backfield with him. He gets the snap. Quick pass. Marine dragged down at the New England 49.
Good work there by Joe Mays, the linebacker. He read that thing all the way. If he'd have been a half step slow getting to that might have gone for big yardage.
So here's a chance for the Patriots to keep it going and for the Texans to put a stop to this drive. Over the middle, incomplete. Intended for Gronkowski. Penalty marker in the backfield.
Roughing the passer, number 58 defense, below the quarterback's head. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Wow, Brooks Reed gets flagged for hitting Tom Brady in the head. Oh, and Brooks Reed is just trying to get by. J.J. Watt drives Tom Brady back, and Brooks Reed doesn't think he's anywhere near the quarterback and ends up making contact with Tom Brady's head. Yeah, there's no question that it happened. Was it inadvertent? Absolutely. But does that matter? No.
Now here's Blunt straight ahead, and Blunt to about the 32 or 33-yard line.
That is really a horrible break for the Texans. You know, a lot of times you'll see roughing the quarterback and you go, hey, I'm glad they flagged that guy. That was completely unnecessary. Brooks Reed was just running by and had Tom Brady knocked into him.
This is Vereen, and Vereen to about the 31-yard line, and Antonio Smith making the tackle. A reminder, this Thanksgiving weekend, whether you're a parent, teacher, student, or fan, there's a fun and easy way for you to hop on the NFL Play 60 bus to get on board and join the movement that has helped millions of children get active and healthy. Visit NFLrush.com/Play60. 3rd and 5. pressure and goes down.
Never a chance. Never a chance. Coming from Tom's blind side on the backside, and his pocket disintegrates. There on the bottom of your screen, Whitney Merciless completely unblocked. They were coming at him straight up the A gap as well. Never had a chance.
So Steven Gostowski will now line this one up from 55 yards. He has 21 straight field goals.
He's got a 54-yarder on the wall already this year.
On its way. And he missed it. That prevents a tie ball game, and it also gives the Texans some pretty good field position. Back in Houston, Texas. The Texans with a 3-point lead, and they have the ball at their own 45-yard line. We are under 5 minutes to play in a first half, but the Houston Texans have more than held their own. This is Tate, left side, and back to the line of scrimmage and no more.
Well, we've talked about Tom Brady and his passion, and again, he knew going into that last play, I cannot take a sack on third down. The play before, he gets hit. Now that drew the roughing the quarterback penalty, but when he got sacked and forced that long Gostowski field goal, he's upset about that as well, although there's nothing he possibly could have done about it. That was a complete jailbreak. He was overrun. He barely got his feet set.
On second down, Keenum flips it to Dennis Johnson out of the backfield with blockers. Midfield, 45, still on his feet, has a first down to the 43-yard line.
You know you're in field goal range, and whatever you do, you don't want to just make it a longer field goal. And there, Tom Brady upset that sack happened, although not sure what he could have done about it. Wade Phillips doesn't blitz a lot, and he caught New England by surprise with that one.
Go back to Dennis Johnson on the ground. Gabe cuts him back inside the 40 to about the 39, where Rob Ninkovich makes the play. Rob Ninkovich, one of the better beards around the National Football League.
It is high quality.
Oh,
it is dense. It is thick. It is just about coal black, and you're right. It is not that close crop look he's featuring there in the publicity photo. He decided at the beginning of the season, I'm just going to let it go.
Hasn't shaved since training camp. On second and 5, we'll go back to Dennis Johnson again, and Johnson for a first down to the 30. Dennis Johnson has been a little bit of a find for these Houston Texans, all 5'7", 193 pounds of him.
Well, this time they're going to do the zone, working to the left. Dwayne Brown gets a really good look, and that's the way a running back never stops churning his legs. 5'7". Just take a look at that. A low center of gravity, good balance. A lot to like in the rookie here from Arkansas, and a real steal, undrafted.
First down now at the New England 29. Keenum. That's complete to the 20-yard line. Andre Johnson getting back into the act again. And that brings us to the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to play in the first half finds the Texans on the march once again, leading by 3. We remind you the Verizon Halftime Report upcoming. JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and the coach back in New York. Scores and highlights coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. 2nd and 1. Play fake. Keenum still with the ball with time, running out of time now. Throwing, and that is incomplete. Inside the 15-yard line, intended for Garrett Graham, the tight end.
Well, a complete run formation in the eye, and only a 2-receiver pattern downfield, and New England wasn't fooled at all. trying to get the ball to Graham and Aqib Talib, who's having a monster year at corner for the Patriots, trying to play through a hip injury and doing so pretty darn well.
So now 3rd and 1. Tate in the backfield. Tate gets the handoff, finds a big hole left side. 10, 5, touchdown.
Well, Bill Belichick is making a note to himself. My defense got eradicated. Take a look at that alley for Ben Tate. Oh, Lordy. That was, talk about finding a crease. And then downfield, a missed tackle, and once again, Bill Belichick's going to get to talk to his team at halftime as they're trailing.
$17-7, Houston. There's a look at Ben Tate, the former Auburn Tiger. Do you think maybe he got a little mental boost sometime this weekend?
I'm sure he was yelling War Eagle last night.
You know, Bill Belichick, if you followed him at all during the week, he had plenty of good things to say about the Houston Texans, and he wasn't just blowing smoke. This is a talented roster.
It is, and their record is almost unfathomable.
This is Boyce. And Boyce spinning out of trouble and spinning into trouble, and he is stood up at about the 15-yard line by Brian Braven. We approach halftime. Tom Brady. Always time on the clock for him. See what Tom Brady can do with under 2 minutes to play in the half. He's got 1:40 on the clock and all 3 timeouts. Quick pass, near side, Amendola. And Amendola out across the 20 to the 22-yard line. Amendola from the Woodlands, about 25 miles outside of Houston.
Of course, played his college ball at Texas Tech, along with that other guy, Wes Welker.
2nd and 3. Brady throws the other way, and that's complete and hit almost immediately at the 25-yard line is Josh Boyce, the rookie out of Texas Christian.
Again, this is the way that the Texans are going to play this. They'll give the 5, 6, 7-yard pass.
Brady throwing, and it's Gronkowski. Gronkowski out of bounds across the 40 at about the 43 or 44-yard line. That stops the clock with 53 seconds to play.
Yeah, and that's a case where the Houston defender fell down.
And Whitney Merciless down on one knee at about the 32.
Their number 1 pick last year.
Wade Phillips is again giving officials an earful. We'll take a break. Whitney Merciless was able to walk off the field under his own power. Amendola in motion, and here's Brady. Out of the backfield, that catch is made by Vereen, and timeout is called on the far side of the field at the 49-yard line.
Yeah, the official ruled Vereen down in the field of play and wound the clock.
Coming up, the Verizon halftime report. JB Dan Chan, Boomer's coach, has the latest NFL scores and highlights and preview of the Denver-Kansas City game coming up on the Verizon halftime report. You know, these Houston Texans averaging 18 points a game. They've put 17 on the board here in the first half alone.
You know, and it's one of the things because when you look at them from a yardage standpoint offensively, you know, they're better than average. They're 11th overall in yards and yet 30th in points scored. There's a little bit of a disconnect there between what happens in the middle of the field and what happens down by the end zone.
Middle of the field is where Brady and the Patriots are right now on 2nd and 4. Brady hit as he threw incomplete, and J.J. Watt again in on the quarterback.
And Logan Mankins, he got caught up in the rubble Again, J.J. Watt just spinning right around. Take a look at Watt, number 99, working against Dan Conley, and he gets that upfield shoulder, and Tom Brady was spun around awkwardly.
3rd and 4.
You know, J.J. Watt is more than willing to do the dirty work inside.
Brady standing in, tapped up in the air, and it's incomplete. Intended for Gronkowski and covered by Eddie Pleasant, number 35.
And covered well by Eddie Pleasant, number 35. Tom Brady looking, take a look. I mean, he's looking to all the way to his right, comes back to the middle. And again, Gronk was there, but that was just textbook coverage by Pleasant. Had his arm around front, knocked the ball away. That was just perfect coverage.
No one deep for the punt.
Nothing bad could happen if nobody's back.
So this one drops inside the 10 and rolls into the end zone for the touchdown. Nice try by the punter Ryan Allen. And with 28 seconds on the clock, the Texans will have the ball at their own 20-yard line. And unless something really, really strange happens, they're going to go to the locker room with the lead.
Well, New England's got 2 timeouts left, but Gary Kubiak, with a young, inexperienced quarterback making his 6th start, I think is going to be more than happy to just take a knee and head to the locker room with a 10-point advantage.
You see there are no strangers to leading at halftime, but some tough things have happened in the second halves of games. But this is the take a knee formation.
Absolutely. Don't take any chances down here.
Halftime lead is a good thing. The only thing is you got to hold on to it.
Well, New England's opponents have found out, specifically Denver, that having a lead at halftime guarantees nothing.
We come to the end of the first half at Reliance Stadium in Houston. The 2-9 Houston Texans playing like anything but a 2-9 team. They lead at 17-7. Back with the Verizon halftime report after this message and a word from your local station. This is the NFL on CBS. And welcome back to Reliance Stadium in Houston, where the Texans enjoy a halftime lead. Rushing offense has been impressive today with 73 rushing yards and 2 rushing touchdowns.
Run up! Run up! Yo! Right side!
Football like you've never heard it, presented to you by Sonos, is welcome back, everyone. Greg Gumbel along with Dan Deerdorf. Interesting football game, to say the very least. 17-7 lead for the Houston Texans. New England gets the ball first here in the second half, and something to keep in mind, they're 2-9, the Texans are, and they also have the number 1 defense in the league. That's what New England's looking at here in the second half.
And I'm sure Bill Belichick would like to see the passing game be a little sharper, but I bet you it starts with the fact that he's uncomfortable, as well he should be. How many times Tom Brady's been on the ground? Tom's been under duress in this game. The front 4 of the Texans is getting some pretty good pressure, and when Wade Phillips has blitzed, it's been sparingly, when he's done it, but it's been very effective.
It's going to be interesting to see, too, and important, I would think, for the Texans to make a stand early here and then establish who's who here in the second half.
I mean, let's face it, this is a game where New England is supposed to win and Houston is supposed to lose. And you know what? It doesn't always go according to form.
This will be Josh Boyce at the goal line. And out across the 20 to about the 21 or the 22-yard line. Brought down by Elbert Mack as we look at some halftime numbers. And look at the plays in the opponent's territory.
Well, and look at the average drive start. The Texans have enjoyed great field position for that first half. Each team with a turnover, but again, the Patriots just can't get into this habit of just assuming that they're going to mount this great second half comeback.
So Brady spreads the field to start the second half from his own 22-yard line. with time, crossing pattern. That is Amendola, and Amendola with a first down out to about the 38-yard line.
And Danny Amendola has not been very involved in this game. That's just his second reception. And he is a more than capable receiver. And he has got to do more than just have a pair of receptions at this stage of the ballgame. Tom Brady looks to him way too much to have that little production.
This is Vereen. And Vereen going to lose yardage on the play. The 37-yard line, Antonio Smith there to make the initial hit.
And you know, Antonio Smith is one of those guys that just, you know, he is a good, solid football player and has been for 9 years in this league. And he's just, you know, J.J. Watt just absorbs so much of the spotlight, and when he's healthy, so does Brian Cushing. But Antonio Smith is just, he is a heck of a football player. Really good.
Loss of 1 on the play makes it 2nd and 11. Great drop for Brady. He's got a man open. It's Gronkowski. Gronkowski inside the 25, inside the 20, still on his feet, and out of bounds inside the 15-yard line.
Never did go to the ground. They never did get Rob Gronkowski. They got him out of bounds, but they never got him to the ground. And again, this is what the Gronk does best. Runs a seam pattern straight down the field. Darryl Sharpton, the linebacker, unable to keep up. Nothing fancy here. Straight down the field goes Gronkowski. And look at the Texans try to get him to the ground. It's not going to happen.
What a difference he makes in this New England lineup. First down from the 13. Brady under pressure, throws. That's complete. Inside the 5, looking for the end zone is Vereen, and he is out of bounds inside the 1.
Oh, Vereen thought he got in. He really thought that he was able to tightrope that sideline.
Vereen is looking for his first touchdown of the season.
Again, Tom Brady does a good job of delivering a strike.
Straight ahead. Devlin. Second effort. Third effort. Touchdown. Up. That's pretty awesome.
That's old-fashioned football right there, folks. And at no time did he ever release that death grip on the football. Look, he bounces off. One hand gets stripped. It goes right back on it. They're trying to strip it again. Back on it. That's old-fashioned football. Leg drive and ball security. Pad level. You name it. James Devlin did it all. Would you call that a statement drive?
I'm impressed. 12:41 to play. Third quarter. 5 plays, 78 yards in just over 2 minutes. Capped by a James Devlin bulldozer touchdown. James Devlin didn't have a carry all season coming into this game. He has 2 today, including the 1-yard run for his first career touchdown, and that's one of the more impressive runs of the season. 17-14 Houston. Sean Martin will not run this one out of the end zone, so it'll come out to the 20-yard line, and Case Keenum goes back to work.
Well, remember, this is just his 6th start. He had a very productive first half. That long pass to Andre Johnson. That one goes to Martin, and again, he found him wide open. And this is a simple flip to the screen. Dennis Johnson grinds out some yardage. Case Keenum, though, hasn't thrown a touchdown pass, and he does have 1 interception.
And a much more productive offense today. Ben Tate in the backfield as they start from the 20-yard line. Keenum on the run, throws it nowhere.
And now they're going to have a discussion. Was he outside the tackle box when he threw that ball away? And he was. And he was. But that's, when you see the officials discussing that, that's exactly what they're trying to determine, whether or not he was outside of the pocket, outside that tackle box.
It's a good thing for Case Keenum, too, because I believe you were the nearest receiver there.
Well, that's a smart play.
2nd and 10.
He held on to the ball too long a couple times in the first half.
Tate to about the 28. Brandon Spikes with the stop.
Greg, you like to see a quarterback that can learn. And Keenum that time looked like he learned a little something because he did. You know, his one interception in the first half was because he held on to the ball too long. And there was another situation where he took a sack where he might have been able to run or at least throw it away. And I'm sure that's one of the things that Gary Kubiak talked to him about at halftime.
So the line of scrimmage is the 29. It gives him a 3rd and 1 with Tate in the backfield once again. And we get a timeout call.
Timeout, New England, first team timeout.
So the Patriots use a timeout. Back in Houston, here's a big 3rd and 1 for the Texans. And they'll give it to Tate, and Tate is not going to get the first down. Joe Villano leading the charge from the defensive line, which didn't give much at all.
Well, even though Houston goes back into a spread formation with Keenum back in the shotgun, the pistol formation, it's a running play all the way, and New England plays it accordingly. They stacked the line of scrimmage, and a good look there at Joe Villano and Chris Jones, the 2 rookies, both winning their battles up front. They played run all the way, and they defeated it easily.
So Julian Edelman is back and has a chance to return this one from his own 16-yard line. Across the 25 and close to the 30-yard line before he is stopped. I want to remind you, coming up next, Peyton Manning and the Denver Broncos, Alex Smith and the Kansas City Chiefs for the top spot in the AFC West, or the Bengals and the San Diego Chargers. Check your local listings. And we just saw Julian Edelman returning that one as you take a look at the numbers on Denver and Kansas City.
How loud do you think it's going to be at Arrowhead? That is one of the...
It always is, isn't it?
One of the great, and today's going to be extra special with Peyton and company coming to town. That is going to be... That's as close to a college environment as you will find anywhere in the NFL. That might as well be Ohio State, Michigan, Alabama, Auburn.
This is Vereen. Just about the 30-yard line. I was mentioning Julian Edelman. He kind of surprised us last night when you asked him how fast he's ever run the 40.
Yeah, well, I just asked him what's the best you've done, and he said, well, I'm a mid 4.4 guy, which is really good speed. That's quite fast, and he seemed to be a little miffed that I wasn't there to watch him run it when he was at Kent State.
I mean, that's approaching roadrunner status, you know? 2nd and 7.
You know, when you're his size, you better be a little feisty.
Brady over the middle. There is Edelman. And Edelman with a first down at about the 39-yard line. And Edelman kind of said it, man. It's like, well, doesn't everybody?
Well, and, Julian Edelman is just, some guys are just football players. And that's Julian Edelman. He's a quarterback in college, and what does he do when he gets in? He just does whatever he can do to make the team.
Joe Mays getting looked at. He'll walk off the field as we take a break. Linebacker Joe Mays has been replaced by the ex-New England Patriot Jeff Tarpinian at linebacker. First down for the Patriots. Brady receiving. Got his man juggled and caught by Amendola. And that's another first down.
Again, the Patriots show run, 2 tight end formation. Brady under center. Just the quick little out and then in slant by Amendola, who juggles the ball twice and is able to get it under control before he takes the hit. Josh McDaniels, the offensive coordinator, had a couple years stint in Denver, Canton, Ohio native, and one of the bright offensive minds in football.
You see there 6 first downs in this quarter now for New England to none for Houston. Brady has a man open. It is caught by Edelman and out of bounds inside the 20-yard line.
How's that for a touch pass by number 12? We saw him try to do a touch pass in the first half, and it ended up being intercepted He floats that baby right in over the top of Kareem Jackson. That was a perfect throw from number 12.
A little toe drag by Edelman to make sure he gets the second foot down, and it's first down for New England just inside the 20-yard line. They're looking for the lead. Brady, incomplete over the middle. Edelman couldn't handle it. It'll be 2nd and 10.
That ball looked like it was thrown behind Julian Edelman. I mean, he's coming on a full crossing pattern. You've got to lead that receiver. You got to get it out in front of him. That was just a little hard for Edelman to handle. That would have been a routine completion if it had been out in front of him.
That's where that exceptional speed will hurt you, Dave.
Yeah. Yeah, Brady was counting on a 4-7,
Sure.
and he got 4-4.
2nd and 10.
His first incomplete pass of this half.
Quick pass to Edelman, near side. Edelman, 15, 10, diving. And looks like he'll have enough for a first down.
Well, you can see when you watch Julian Edelman return punts that he's got fine open field skills when it comes to making somebody miss. And Kareem Jackson just not able to come up with the tackle. Julian Edelman is just, he's not Barry Sanders, but he is very hard to get onto the ground just one-on-one. And you can see right there, Kareem Jackson came up with basically nothing but air.
So it's a 1st and goal for the Patriots at the 9. Brady throwing 5-yard line, and Vereen can walk in for the touchdown.
Well, you see him get a hug from Gronk. That's because Gronk draws all the coverage in the end zone. Gronk takes most of the Texans' defense with him. They're back there all over Gronk and just completely ignore Shane Vereen. And again, that's just, that's a strong assist to Gronkowski. He's got a couple guys trailing him back there, and somebody blew their assignment on Vereen.
Shane Vereen scores his first touchdown of the season. Comes on a 9-yard pass from Tom Brady, and it's a 21-17 New England lead. 8:06 to play here in the third quarter, and Patriots have come out of the locker room and taken control of this game. 7 plays, 73 yards. And Shane Vereen scoring on the 9-yard touchdown pass from Tom Brady. Sean Martin is deep. And Martin will get a chance to return this one from the yard deep in the end zone. And doesn't get back to the 20. He's brought down at the 19.
Well, Tom Brady, his day, this is kind of emblematic of the first half. Underthrew that ball. Jonathan Joseph with the interception. He gets hit pretty hard. Here in the second half, he finds Gronk down the seam. That sets up Devlin's touchdown. And then, of course, his last one to a wide open Shane Vereen. And take a look at how close Antonio Smith came to getting a hand on that touchdown pass to Vereen. Sometimes success is measured razor thin.
So Case Keenum in the shotgun has time and throws and completes it. Andre Johnson, and Johnson out across the 45 to the 48-yard line.
Well, talk about throwing the football into a tight window. Here comes Andre Johnson, and Keenum delivers a strike. And again, take a look at this thing get in there. That was hardly bad coverage on the part of the Patriots. Deron Harmon, the rookie, really in there pretty good on Andre Johnson.
They'll make the line of scrimmage the 47. Dan, you and I were saying during the half, there's a lot to like about Case Keenum. Keenum throwing sideline, and that is complete on the far side. Johnson once again, and he's out of bounds. About 2 yards short of a first down.
And you just mentioned, Greg, about there's a lot to like about Keenum showing the arm strength to make that out pattern throw. That he whistled that thing out there. And again, it's his ability to take care of the football. You know, he's got 3 interceptions. We saw the one in the first half, but that was because he held the ball too long, got hit, and it fluttered.
2nd and 1. Tate has the first down. Brought down by Brandon Spikes and Duron Harmon.
You know, Ben Tate is a guy you just have to admire. He has 4 cracked ribs. He did it in the Kansas City game. And, you know, he's having to carry the load because Arian Foster had back surgery, and he's gone for the rest of the year. And then we saw Tate turn his ankle in the first half, get it retaped, and hobble back out there. Tough guy.
Keenum with time over the middle. That's complete to the 25-yard line. Garrett Graham pulls it in, and that's another first down for Houston.
Well, Garrett Graham here, nothing complicated about this. Again, he's settling right into that void. And how accurate is that throw from Keenum? And again, Case Keenum having a pretty good sequence here this drive as he's throwing one accurate ball after the other.
Keenum 3 out of 3 on this drive. First down now from the 25, and this is Tate. And Tate with a hole on the left side, inside the 20 to the 18.
Well, this is a pretty good mix of pass and run here by the Texans on this drive. Everybody knows that when Vince Wilfork was lost, Tommy Kelly was lost, Gerard Mayo was lost, that a lot of talent was being subtracted from this New England defense. And they've been vulnerable to the running game. Thus, they're ranking 31st in the NFL out of 32 teams.
Keenan now the 2nd and 3, and this is Tate once again trying the left side and pulls his way close to the 15-yard line. He'll be about a yard short of a first down. Chris Jones, Chandler Jones there to make the stop.
Well, and they're running to the left side of the Texans offensive line, and that's their Pro Bowl side. Dwayne Brown, Wade Smith, Chris Myers, their center. They've all been to the Pro Bowls. They've all been there repeatedly. And see if New England can muscle it up here.
3rd and 1. Keenum going to keep it for the first down.
Well, that's hardly throwing Ben Roethlisberger at you on a quarterback sneak. Case Keenum, one of the smaller quarterbacks in the National Football League, and he's still found enough of a surge behind that O-line to pick up a first down.
So now from the 14 as the Texans look to regain the lead. Tate, big hole on the right side to the 5, inside the 5 to the 4.
New England just sitting in a classic 3-4 defense. An odd look, a nose tackle, 2 defensive ends, and there's a void there on the right side. And that is just really poorly played by the New England Patriots. They lost gap control, not even close. If you're going to play that 3-4, your linebackers have got to crash the hole. Everyone has a gap responsibility, and that was a complete failure.
2nd and 1. Keenum going to give it to Tate, and Tate doesn't look like he got the first down.
Well, in that time you see New England wasn't going to be reactionary. They were going to make something happen. Brandon Spikes, Ninkovich, they all attack the line of scrimmage with a run blitz. Look at them. Take a look at that. You know, that's exactly that. They aren't going to sit back and wait for this Texan running game to come at them. They've got to be proactive and attack the line of scrimmage. Now, does that leave you open to play action? You better believe it.
3rd and 1. Keenum on the run, left side. He'll have the first down. He'll have the touchdown.
It's hard to account for the 11th man when it's a designed run, and that's exactly what this is. Dwayne Brown, the Pro Bowler, comes out. Aqib Talib says, I want no part of that. Great call by Kubiak, Dennison, and the offensive staff. Show pass the whole way, empty backfield. And the Houston Texans showing a little grit.
Case Keenum with his first rushing touchdown. The extra point is good. And the Texans answer the way you're supposed to, especially at home. 24-21 Houston. The numbers on the Houston scoring drive. The Texans come into this game with just 2 rushing touchdowns on the season. They have run for 3 touchdowns today against New England.
That was just really a well-designed play. Depended on the wide receivers getting it done at the point of attack. And everybody knows Case Keenum can run.
In the end zone, Josh Boyce can run it out. Boyce shakes the tackler at the 15 and makes it back just short of the 20-yard line. 2:03 to play in the third quarter. Brady down 3. Steve, playoff picture. Everybody in the world in the hunt in the AFC.
Well, Denver and Kansas City, one of them is going to end up with a 3rd loss today. If New England can come out of here with a win, they've got 3 losses. And if that one team with a 3rd loss happens to be Denver, keep in mind New England owns the tiebreaker over Denver. They don't play Kansas City this year in the regular season.
Let's go back to that touchdown.
Yeah, really a well-designed play because it counts on your wide receivers. Watch it, your 2 wideouts here have to get blocks, in which they do seal it off to the inside, and then Dwayne Brown comes around.
So here's Brady and company from their own 19-yard line. Vereen with running room up the middle. Across the 30 to about the 32, maybe the 33-yard line. That takes a little air out of the Houston crowd.
Well, and again, they hammer it in behind their 2 best offensive linemen. Logan Mankins, their all-pro left guard, and then Nate Solder at left tackle.
Joe Mays is back on the field. He was injured during that last defensive series. Brady stepping up. That's complete. And that is to James Devlin out of the backfield. And he'll have enough for a first down at the 45.
Well, Devlin ended up running his pattern, and he ends up really close to Gronk. And the reason for that is the Texans are really trying to disrupt Rob Gronkowski leaving the line of scrimmage. Wade Phillips telling us that we're going to try to hit Gronk because he's not a great restart guy. He's not a guy that can start over as quickly as some other people.
Of course, it's no fun hitting Gronk either, is it?
No, it's no fun hitting him, but it's also no fun chasing him down the seam either.
On first down, this is LeGarrette Blount, and Blount with running room on the right side, tripped up short of midfield by DJ Swearinger.
Well, that time Logan Mankins comes from left guard and traps on the other side, and right now it's New England mounting a running attack.
Gronkowski in motion. And Brady throwing. Gronkowski is wide open to the 35-yard line. That'll be the last play of the third quarter. New set of downs when they turn around and go in the other direction. That's the end of 3. 24-21 Houston. We're back after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Along with our producer, Mark Wolf, and our director, Suzanne Smith, and our terrific CBS Sports crew here in Houston, Greg Gumbel, Dan Deerdorf, we start the fourth quarter. Houston with the lead. The Patriots at the Houston 35. Brady for Bolden out of the backfield. 25, 20, and knocked out of bounds on the near side by Jonathan Joseph.
Well, Wade Phillips tries to make something happen, and he comes with an all-out blitz, and Tom Brady is all over it. Bolden realizes it, makes himself a target. Jonathan Joseph didn't appreciate the big hit he took from Brandon Bolden. That's just an excellent read, blitz adjustment. Made it look easy.
Vereen met at the 15 and pushed back. It's Joe Mays making the stop.
You know, that last look, Greg, was just a classic look at the risk a defensive coordinator takes when you all-out blitz a premier quarterback. Because let's face it, Tom Brady has been there, done that. And if his teammates cooperate and recognize it along with him, you got a chance of getting gashed defensively.
Brady on 2nd and 8. Gonna go for the end zone. It is incomplete. Intended for Vereen and covered by Daryl Sharpton.
Well, Tom's going to try to go back shoulder to Vereen. I think this football goes right through his hands. Tom Brady delivers a perfect throw. And while Sharpton was all over him, right there, Vereen had a chance to make that catch. It goes right through his hands.
Fourth quarter has not been kind to Houston. They've scored 47 fourth quarter points all year long. New England's had 48 in their last 3 games. 3rd and 8. And Brady wants a timeout.
Well, the play clock was down to 1. He had no choice.
That leaves the Patriots with 1 timeout remaining in this half. 13:45 to play in regulation. The crowd up for it on 3rd and 8. Brady under pressure, throwing over the middle and inside the 10-yard line, complete to Edelman. It'll be 1st and goal.
Something that Peyton Manning and Tom Brady do so well. This little option route, Edelman back to the inside, but it's the accuracy that both of those guys have when it comes to the short and intermediate range passes. That ball was just exactly where it needed to be.
They'll keep it on the ground for LeGarrette Blount, and Blount to the end zone for the touchdown.
Well, New England scores. The Texans respond with a scoring drive of their own, and New England comes right back with another scoring drive. Nate Solder, a tremendous block at the point of attack. Same thing with James Devlin, the fullback, and then the off-guard Dan Conley comes around. Oh, man, that was just textbook. That was just one A-plus block after another.
We've seen those notes that Bill Belichick takes on the sidelines during the first half, and then his team comes out and scores 3 touchdowns and 3 drives.
They obviously pay attention at halftime.
The extra point is good. 13:09 to play here in the 4th quarter. Back come the Patriots. They lead 28-24. Houston went up 24-21. Back came the Patriots. 9-play, 81-yard drive. 3rd lead change of this game now has New England on top 28-24. And Keyshawn Martin will not get a chance to return this one. This one floats out of the end zone.
Well, Bill Belichick never stops working on a sideline. I know every head coach has a different demeanor. Bill is always making notes, going over the pictures from above, working there with Matt Patricia. I'm not sure what he's writing down, but he comes back to it. And I'm telling you, I don't know how many gigabytes his processor has, but it's more than most, and it never stops humming all game long.
So now Case Keenum once again. Keenum to throw. Gonna go deep. It is caught. This is DeAndre Hopkins. Hopkins to the 20, to the 15. Completely lost his man on the near sideline.
Well, you could get this. Kyle Arrington is in coverage number 25, and he loses the football. Completely loses the football, and if that's not bad enough, then he loses Hopkins. That was so grossly misplayed by Kyle Arrington on both levels. He lost the ball and the receiver.
66-yard play takes them to the 14 of the Patriots. Tate, left side to the 10.
Take a look at it. Here we are down at the bottom. Here's Arrington, and just watch him in his coverage. It's man all the way. He knows he has no safety, but for some reason right there, what was that stutter step and giving up on it almost in the sense? He didn't give up in terms of lack of effort, but he didn't know where he was. Spatially, he was completely disoriented. Lost both the football and the receiver. Bad thing for a corner to do when he's all by himself.
2nd and 6. Tate, left side, 5, touchdown, back on top, the Houston Texans.
Boy, again, let's get in behind Dwayne Brown and Wade Smith. And the inexperience on this defensive line of the Patriots is starting to show. Chris Jones and Joe Bolano are not able to scrape into the hole.
And I think Ben Tate looked back at Arian Foster and then did one of his little bows in the end zone.
Again, the defensive line of the Patriots on that play were just erased.
Ben Tate to the end zone. And that'll send Coach Bill Belichick back to the note-taking process. We're talking about answering the score of an opposition. How about 3 plays, 80 yards in just a minute and 34?
Well, this is obviously an all-Auburn weekend here. Ben Tate.
Josh Boyce from the 2. To the 20, and brought down short of the 25-yard line. Gives us an opportunity to remind you Friday here on CBS, Katy Perry, Taylor Swift, Robin Thicke perform live when LL Cool J hosts the Grammy nominations concert Friday at 10, 9 Central, only CBS. Well, I don't know what the fans expected when they came here today, but it's a lot more than what they thought they were going to get.
Well, they're being entertained, that's for sure.
So are we. First down.
This Houston defense hasn't stopped Brady and this offense yet this half.
You've had 4 lead changes. Brady throwing, and that's complete across the 30 to the 32. Danny Amendola.
You know, Greg, it is the 1st of December, is it not? And football changes in December. I think everyone's focus is a little ratcheted. It's ratcheted higher, especially if you're on a team that is in a playoff hunt. And if you're like Houston, where you realize you aren't going to be in the playoffs, there's a chance at some redemption, at running somebody else off the tracks and taking a little pride in doing so.
Spoiler alert. 2nd and 3. That pass is complete to Edelman, and Edelman for first down to the 42.
Take a look at that. Since 2001, 45-6. It almost doesn't seem possible. And I attribute that to the fact that Bill Belichick builds that roster all the way to the 53rd guy, because before the end of the year, and a lot of times late in the season, that 53rd guy is having to contribute.
This is LeGarrette Blount. And Blount brought to a stop at about the 44. J.J. Watt right in the middle of it, as he usually is.
How many fumbles have we had by the Patriot running backs today? None. And that is, I think, message. We'll see how it plays out in the last 9 minutes and 40 seconds, but All they have to do is take a look at Mr. Ridley in street clothes to realize they are all on a short leash.
This is Vereen, and Vereen with running room. Into New England territory, into Houston territory, and brought down at the Texans 44.
And there's Stephen Ridley holding football.
Holding the football.
Yep, which he has been doing at least this entire second half. And
he may well have gotten off the bus with that.
well, I can tell you one thing. I guarantee you there's 31 teams in the NFL hoping that Bill Belichick gets mad at him and releases him, because 31 teams will put a claim in for him. Stephen Ridley is a good running back if he can just hold on to the ball.
Brady throwing, and he's got his man inside the 35-yard line. Edelman once again for a first down to the 32.
Well, nifty ball handling by Tom Brady, and again he's not able to step into that at all. Tom's showing a little athletic ability. Look at Antonio Smith stretch out, trying to get Tom. That was a pretty acrobatic move there by Antonio Smith.
Brady 15 out of 17 this half, throwing it again. And that one tipped at the line of scrimmage.
I think Watt got it. Did JJ get a hand on that?
Second and 10.
He's got quite a skill. Takes some extraordinary eye-hand coordination to defend as many passes as he does at the line of scrimmage.
Second and 10. This is Vereen, and Vereen cut down for lost yardage in the backfield as number 51 charging in, Daryl Sharpton.
And I think we have a safety coming in off the edge. I believe so. Swearinger comes in, and he goes low, and Swearinger, and then Sharpton comes in high. But that was a great call there by Wade Phillips, sending his safety off the corner.
Third and 13. Brady for Gronkowski, incomplete.
Wow, and this would be a long field goal for Gostkowski. This would be about 52, 53 yards, I think. Now, no surprise here that the Texans are ready with bracket coverage on Gronkowski, and coming in from behind, Eddie Pleasant, the safety, timed his arrival perfectly. Helmet and ball arrived simultaneously.
Gostkowski missed from 55 earlier today. This will be 53. On its way. And good. 22 in a row for Gostkowski, the longest active NFL streak in the fourth quarter or overtime. Back in Houston, 31 apiece. Texans haven't scored this many since opening day at San Diego when they beat the Chargers 31-28. .7:16 to play in the fourth. Sean Martin will not run this one out of the end zone, so it'll come out to the 20-yard line. Gives us an opportunity to remind you, Thursday on CBS, the Victoria's Secret models reveal all the Robin Williams in a sexy new crazy ones. Thursday at 9/8 Central, only CBS.
Well, young Mr. Keenum has a chance to really make a statement here. He's had a strong performance in this game so far. He's got the one interception. He does not have a touchdown pass. But again, that interception was because he was hit. And he was throwing.
Keenum on the move. looking, throwing. Oh, what a throw. Back across his body, but it's incomplete. Garrett Graham.
It's a risky throw. Keenum's looking at him all the way. It's hard to get a lot on that. Yeah, and no question about it. In the act of finishing the process, as Graham hit the ground, the ball came loose, and he lost possession of it. And the official saw it. Good call. No catch.
Hey, watch the overwrap. Right. Right. Baby.
Keenum with time over the middle, and this one out to the 35-yard line. Andre Johnson. Incomplete.
Again, let's look at this throw. Andre Johnson has it, and wow. I mean, he's wide open. There goes Hopkins down the field, but that safety came off. But that ball should have been caught by Andre Johnson. Quite frankly, the one before by Graham should have been caught. Yeah. Case Keenum is doing his part, and on back-to-back plays has not gotten any help at all from his receivers.
Got a big over here, 91. 91! Got a big over here, 91.
Here they come after Keenum. Keenum on the run, and he had to throw it away.
Oh, he might get called from. I didn't see a receiver anywhere near that. Now, Case Keenum is just backpedaling right up the A-gap. Here they come. Chandler Jones, Ninkovich are both there. And Case Keenum alertly got rid of that. To whom he was trying, I have no idea.
Edelman. Fair catch call for.
Oh, he was interfered with.
Absolutely interfered. Well, I don't see a penalty marker down.
Wow.
That was Josh Victorian, the special teams. Wow.
Well, he didn't touch him. At first, do they lock legs?
Yeah, they did.
Wow, that was really close. If may have just ticked a toe or something, but
right there.
Yeah, right there. Okay, their knees hit. There you go. You have got to give that guy some space.
He gave him no space. First down. The Patriots have scored on all four of their second half drives. Brady, quick drop, quick throw to the outside, and that's Amendola.
How many times do the Patriots start a series with that short out pattern like that? It's almost like it lets Tom warm up with that throw, where he just drives it to the outside. They pick up 4, 5, 6 yards. It's such a high completion percentage play, but it's a favorite of Josh McDaniels.
On 2nd and 3, Shane Vereen to the 40.
Well, take a look at most games decided by a touchdown or less. The Patriots 8 times this year, and to no one's surprise, they've won 5 of the 8. Conversely, Houston has been in 8 of those, and they've won only a pair.
This is a big play for this Patriots offense and the Houston defense.
My guess is that record is a direct relationship to the quality of play they get at the quarterback position.
Brady, quick pass over the middle, and that's caught by Gronkowski. Gronkowski inside the 45, first down. That was inches away from being an incompletion.
And Gronk is limping. Again, what a target coming across the middle. And Rob Gronkowski got up, and he was limping. Right there. Oh, look at his right ankle get caught underneath Eddie Pleasant.
Gronkowski on the sideline. First down now at the 43.
All-out blitz up the middle by Houston.
Blunt nowhere to go. Earl Mitchell saw to that.
Here he comes right up the middle trying to time this off. And again, Conley was able to get a shoulder on him, but that kept Conley from getting where he was supposed to be. And that was a good all sellout blitz and all everyone on board type blitz from Wade Phillips.
Meanwhile, New England has chalked up 442 total yards against this number one defense in the NFL today. And we got a penalty marker.
Thank you. Timeout. Houston, first team timeout. A 30-second timeout.
Pete Morelli disregarding the fact there are 2 penalty flags on the field. I guess the timeout was called prior to the flags being thrown.
So with 4:05 to play and a 31-31 tie, Houston uses a timeout. Hey, next Saturday, CBS Sports, your championship destination. First, the SEC championship on CBS. Number 5, Missouri. Number 4, Auburn. And then things get wild out at the Mountain West Championship. Utah State taking on number 16, Fresno State. That's Saturday on CBS.
How about the finish of that Auburn-Alabama game last night?
None of them all.
Yesterday was a wild day in college football, and that was the exclamation point. How much sleep do you think Nick Saban got last night? Yeah, I think it's 0.
2nd and 10.
Brady
With time, throwing, complete to Vereen. And Vereen to the 35, at 2 yards short of a first down. Clock continues to move, coming up on 3:50 to play. And Rob Gronkowski back on the field.
Yeah, they're back into the outer limits of Gronkowski's leg. Looking at probably about a 53-yarder from where they are right now. Somewhere between 52, 53. But with this kind of time, would they love to get a first down and keep going.
3rd and 2. Brady, incomplete, knocked down by Brandon Harris. Gronkowski, the intended receiver.
Well, no surprise that Tom would try to go to Gronk in this situation, and that was just perfectly read. And Brandon Harris, that's the way it's supposed to be done as a DB.
So here is Gronkowski, who missed from 55, hit from 53. And this is from 53 again. On its way. And once again, he splits the uprights. From 53 yards out with 3:12 to play. New England takes the lead 34-31.
Well, Stephen Gostkowski is showing lots of leg. Not just accuracy, but that baby was struck with some juice on it. As you can see, it made it all the way up into the net. That just didn't eke its way over the crossbar.
I think we're talking in the 60-yard vicinity.
Yeah, that made it all the way up into the net, keeping it out of the stands.
So New England 34, Houston 31, 3:12 to play, and once again the pressure shifts to that young man, who seems to have handled it pretty well today.
I was going to say, it's no surprise that we watched Tom Brady drive his team into scoring range in this situation this late in the fourth quarter. Now, Case Keenum, who, for the fact that this is his 6th start in the NFL, practice squad player last year, the 3rd quarterback, the first 6 games of this year, not even active, behind Matt Schaub and TJ Yates, and finds himself in this position.
Keyshawn Martin will not get a chance to run this one back. It'll come out to the 20-yard line as we look once again at the AFC playoff race. Denver, New England, Indy, and Cincy division leaders. Denver and Kansas City due to kick it off in the not too distant future here on CBS. And then everybody on the planet chasing Baltimore. You know, even Case Keenum knew that Bill Belichick is known for throwing all kinds of things at a young quarterback. He's handled everything pretty well today.
He said, I know I'm going to see things I haven't seen before. Hasn't acted like it.
Here comes the blitz. Keenum on the move. And throws, and is caught at the 30-yard line. It is the catch and a first down to Andre Johnson.
Again, Case Keenum showing real accuracy on the run. And let's check out Andre Johnson. Control. Did he have the football? Did he have the football with both feet on the ground? He most certainly did.
First down at the 30 now. Keenum with time, running out of time. On the move, throwing, complete far side of the field. That's Johnson again for a first down to the 45.
This is what Bill Belichick was worried about, Case Keenum's ability to extend plays by moving around. And that he making it look pretty easy, but I am really impressed with his ability to deliver an accurate throw on the run.
Career catch number 900 for the great number 80 of the Houston Texans.
Congrats to really a world-class guy and football player.
Tate, nowhere to go, except down at the 42. Brandon Spikes and Chandler Jones combined.
And that was a negative play, a loss of a couple of yards. And again, we talked earlier about Randy Bullock, and he's had an inconsistent year from a field goal standpoint. He's far from automatic.
His longest is 51 yards. 2:20 to play in the fourth. Keenum throwing this side of the field, incomplete. DeAndre Hopkins saying that he was held, and I wonder if he had a case.
Well, I think that's Logan Ryan, the rookie corner. Oh, he did grab some jersey.
Yes, he did.
You know, the Patriots have not been flagged for a penalty this entire game. Well, after the hole, he gets up there, and his hands meet the football at the same time that Hopkins did.
3rd and 13. Keenum throwing this side of the field and overthrown and picked off but out of bounds. Duron Harmon made the interception but out of bounds.
Yeah, I think he got maybe 1 foot in, but I don't believe he was even close to getting that second one in. And with a little over 2 minutes left in the game, yeah, even the one might not have been barely in. It was, if it was in, it was, but not even close to being able to get 2 down.
And now 4th and 13. And we get a timeout called by Houston. And Gary Kubiak looking for something that's going to work for 4th and long.
Well, now Houston, with only 1 timeout remaining, they have no choice but to go for this. I think Gary Kubiak knows that if he punts the ball away, gives it to Tom Brady, he's not going to see it again. So this is an all or nothing shot for the Texans.
Now Case Keenum has found some holes in this Patriots secondary today.
And when has he done it? When he's been on the move. So I would not be the least bit surprised, nor would Bill Belichick, to see something here where Case Keenum is moving, trying to break contain, trying to get outside, and maybe find one of his receivers breaking loose. got to admire the effort, regardless of how this works out for the Texans. These guys are getting paid to play too, and they've earned their paychecks today.
Keenum needs the 45 of the Patriots for a first down. Under pressure. Looking to get rid of it, and it's incomplete. Rob Ninkovich, Andre Carter into the backfield.
Well, when the Patriots needed to collapse the pocket, they did it. Chris Jones, the first guy to break through. Case Keenum, nowhere to go.
See how well the New England Patriots have been forming with comebacks. And they've had to do that. This is LeGarrette Blount. Last week they were scoreless in the first half, scored 34 in the second half. Today they scored 7 in the first half and have come back with 27 points here in the second half.
Well, Houston uses their last timeout. So now New England will be able to run a play and chew up 40 seconds on the play clock, run another play, chew up another 40 seconds on the play clock. It's
hold on. Carry the one. Okay, go ahead.
The Texans really hurt themselves having to use that timeout that they used before they ran that fourth down play.
This is Blount, and he is blunted at the 40. And the clock moves on towards a minute and a half to play.
And the Texans do not have the ability to stop it. But they will, if the Patriots don't go anywhere with this, they will get the ball back with not so much time to do anything with it.
We've been telling you about the Patriots and their second half efforts. Brady for Devlin. Make it Blount, LeGarrette Blount. And we're under a minute to play.
And we'll be looking at somewhere in the vicinity of 20-some seconds left on the clock for the Houston Texans.
A reminder, Denver, Kansas City, still to come here on CBS. As the fight for positioning in the AFC playoff picture continues.
This is where New England will let it run down to 1 second, and then they'll take a timeout. Tom Brady going to stand there with Pete Morelli. And not now, right now. There we go.
Let's check in with James Brown in New York, the NFL Today. JB?
As Greg said, the Broncos and Chiefs tied atop the AFC West standings. Manning, smarty from last week's loss to New England, looking to bounce back against Kansas City and Alex Smith. The Chiefs are trying to snap a 2-game losing streak in a game with huge playoff implications. It's the rematch. That'll be coming up next right here on CBS. Back to Greg Gumbel and Dan Deardorff.
Thank you, JB. And it's our understanding Julius Thomas not going to play in that game for Denver, nor is Derek Wolfe.
But the good news for Kansas City is that Tamba Ali, who many thought might miss this game, is going to be active. How productive he's going to be, tune in and find out. That is a grade A prime cut matchup right there.
Ryan Allen will try to put this one out of bounds deep or hang it up. Let's see. Inside the 5 and all.
Oh, let it go. Don't touch it. Let the clock keep burning.
And it is whistled down with 7 seconds on the clock.
Now that was a perfect punt. Perfect. Perfect. Is that how you spell it?
I'm working on it.
My God, halfway through that, I went to myself, why did I do that? Why did I open myself up to really cracking an egg on my head? My God, that's the most pressure-packed thing I've done in a long time.
Did everything at the end but go E-I-E-I-O.
Well, Case, this is where legends are born.
From the 5, Patriots, about as deep as you can get. Over the middle, incomplete, with 1 second on the clock.
Well, the New England Patriots once again fell behind, trailed at halftime, but played this entire game without a penalty. Played it without a running back fumbling the ball, and the Texans only had 2 penalties on the day. A real scarcity of yellow flags today.
Only a 3-man rush. Keenum stepping up and launching it. And it comes down incomplete, and that will do it. The Houston Texans, valiant, but still lose their 10th straight. It took another second-half comeback by the New England Patriots to pull it off. 34-31, the Patriots win it. Coming up next, the NFL on CBS continues. The Broncos taking on the Chiefs, or the Bengals take on San Diego. For Dan Deerdorf, for all of us here in Houston, Greg Gumbel saying so long. Coming up, the NFL Today update presented by Aflac, and includes bonus coverage of Tennessee and Indianapolis. We'll take you there after this.